Alright, hi everyone. I really hope it works because I have a new mic here and a new device. I'm not sure it is charged enough time-wise. I really struggle with sound issues. So it's maybe eighth take just for the start. So I really hope it works. I have 7 whiskies on my table. We're gonna do a kind of survey or deep dive about Talisker Distillery, which is one of my 10 favorite ones, by the way. Talisker means land of the cliff, rocher escarpé in French. It is also from Old Norse. Talisker is Gaelic, but it comes from also the nickname is Lava of the Cuillins because it's a volcanic place with big mountains and very spectacular. So Talisker was founded in 1830. Presentation first, quick, because we've got a lot to do, and I will tell you about the second video. There will have also 7 whiskies, mind you, of Talisker. So quickly, 1830 foundation by Hugh and Kenneth MacAskill in Carbost. I think it's Loch Harbour. Loch Harpert, something like that. We'll get into it maybe. 1848 transfer to North of Scotland Bank. I'm not going to tell you everything, but just some key dates. 1857 sold to Donald McLennan. Then 1867 Anderson and Co. from Glasgow takes over, but as he sold some casks he didn't have, non-existing ones, he went to jail. Then from 1880 and to 1894, lots of changes of ownership until 1894. The name Talisker is official, Talisker Distillery Limited, and 1916 it's taken over by a consortium gathering Johnny Walker brand, John Dewar, and another one. I think it's W.P. Lowry, if I read well. It's a bit tiny. So D.C.L. Distillers Company Limited, is a future Diageo because it's nowadays owned by Diageo, the biggest owner, for those who don't know, of whiskey distilleries so far. In 1860, there's a big fire in the distillery, so it has to be rebuilt. So lots of damage, and in 1962, it is rebuilt, in fact. Forgot to say, in 1928, the distillery up to 1928 was using triple distillation. Did you know that? So it stops in 1928. Also, as often, unfortunately, the majority of Scotch malt distilleries, they will switch from the 1960s to the 1970s from floor malting to drum malting using Saladin boxes most of the time, so automated. They will, anyway, a lot of automation will be applied to different processes for yield reasons, of course. So no, it's not Springbank, but it has character, in theory, as Springbank. 1998, it's the classic, first classic malts, and prior to that there was an 8 years old official, and then it gets to the 10, which this we're gonna try this very old. It's called map label bottling of the 10, which was part, I think, the first picture I saw the classic malts. This was still kind of this label. This is a quite rare one now. That I bought in auction from a friend. What else? So 1973, yes, the local malting stops. 1998, the first distillery editions that we're gonna see. It's over there somewhere. You cannot see it because it's hidden by all these boxes. We're gonna try it in the next episode. And in 2004, the 18 years old also to be seen in the next episode, and the 25 years old are released, which I'm going to talk about, but I don't own any. In 2006, I will also talk about it in the next video, the 30 years old. There has been several editions, and 2013, there is the Storm that you can see on the left here, in two different bottlings, and the Portree, which is the one with the port finish, which I really never got along. So that's why it's not in my collection, and I don't even have a sample to try for you. Sorry. 2015, the Skye, that is also on the table. And so on. Lots of different limited releases. We're not going to talk too much about that. Old one I haven't tried. All I can tell you is the next episode we're going to try the 18 years old, an official one and an indie through a sample. TALISKER 57th degree north of what is left of my bottle. Gotta try it. Also, thanks to two friends. One is a YouTuber. I'm gonna try the 8 years old special release 2018 and 2021 from two different people. And one of the probably the star of the show, maybe. Whoops, you can see behind it, under the spring bag, the 20 years old, the bourbon version one, because there's sherry one as well, which is in my collection. I hope I didn't forget anything. I think it's time to start. So yeah, TALISKER Distillery has warm tubs, mind you. What else? So I wanted to show you also this argue about the labels. You know, this is not the oldest label of the Storm, but here's what it looks like in 2013, something like that. I'm reverse this one, 2013, and this one with a bit of torn label, which I really don't like, but okay, I suppose we have to go with it now. For 2022, and almost the same thing. We're gonna also, and also the boxes are, of course, are different. Oh man! So you see before and after. I don't know what are your preferences. I like the landscape, even if it's in a drawing or interpreted, but I'm not a big fan of the fancy color, but at least it's not as crazy as some Diageo special releases. And you're gonna see the same while I'm at it for the Skye, which is also another age statement. Those two are still in the core range. And the 10, as you will see, the old one is very special. I have several 10 years old, by the way, old style. Anyway, I wanted to try those two no age statement first. Also because I've waited for this video for long and always delayed because I don't have much of the old stuff. Where is it? I mean, I don't have much left there. So it's also an excuse for a bottle kill, and to put the rest maybe in the new one once it's reviewed, because it's not that different. And also because there are these whiskies. As for Bowmore, I'm going to also do a video about Bowmore later on. Just one bottle I miss, one affordable one, the others I forget it. Because it's interesting to try these along with the 10 years old. But this one is not the last one, the latest one, but I tried one of the latest ones. We're going to speak about it. And we'll finish with a Fascadale from ADELPHI'S, which is a range, the island sub-range, so to speak, features different distilleries. This time it's Talisker, but I also have a Highland Park, which I have to review at some point. Okay, so if I look at the color of those two, it's quite similar. Of course, it's not natural color and it's chill filtered, but it's 45.8. Also, of course, label-wise, if you go back to the older version, you know what happens in the Isle of Skye. In this one, the marketing was saying the only single malt Scotch whisky from the Isle of Skye, but unfortunately, in 2016, I think, they had to change because there was Torabhaigh Distillery. But the good thing is there's also, of course, in this island, indie bottler Praba Na Linne, sorry for the pronunciation, which bottles the Torabhaigh and other things, which are blended malts or blended whiskies. They have different options, if I'm not mistaken. I wrote this somewhere, but anyway, I'm rushing things a bit because I don't know if the autonomy of the battery is okay. First time I'm using it. Be kind. What else did I want to say? I don't know. Well, several things will come along anyway, as always. Segues to other things. So yeah, it's not natural color, so we're not gonna. So when they introduced this in 2013, there were, I'm not sure exactly when, but there were some discontinuity of the 10 years old at some point, and the price jumped also. Price-wise, this one, the Storm, I bought it around 32 euros, 2013. The more recent one of the Storm, 35 euros. And you'll see that the Skye is somehow the same price. So yeah, they had to change. I'm losing track, sorry. From the only distillery from the Isle of Skye, they had to switch to Made by the Sea, which is quite ironic because as for a lot of distilleries of Diageo, I think you know that by now probably, I mean, most of the whiskey doesn't age, doesn't mature on the tiny places where the distilleries are, even Kolila. So they have warehouses where some of the rare stuff is, but for the most, they go into bulk, I mean, tankers, tanks, trucks, and or by sea. I'm not sure. No, I think it's rather by road, and then they go to the big facilities of Diageo close to Glasgow to be blended. Because, forgot to say, 10% only of Talisker is, if it hasn't changed, according to my sources, that's a bit old about this, and most of Talisker goes into blends, mainly Johnny Walker, of course, but also the Isle of Skye, independent from Ian MacLeod. In the past, the White Horse, I see they're trying to revive it, blend, which is more famous for his Lagavulin content, etc. So there you go. Oh, forgot to speak, I'm sorry, about technical things, I mean specs. So it is peated to 25 to 30 ppm. Fermentation lasts 60 to 90 hours. Production capacity is 3,500,000 of liters per year. The mash tun is huge with 8 ton 75. It's a stainless steel mash tun. What else? They have 8 washbacks, 6 of Oregon pine, 2 of made in large, mélèze in French. They have 5 stills, 2 wash stills of 55,000 something like that, liters, and 3 spirit stills of 11,000 liters. Middle cut is 1 hour and a half to 2 hours from 72 to 65 ABV. Of course, since the year 2000 or so, as every Diageo or big company, the filling strength for the cask is now 63.5 standardized, but before it could be way higher. So I think you know it all. Let's go for this Talisker Storm. So this bottle is from 2013, so not the cut label like right now, but we're going to try one after this. On the nose, I mean, Talisker and Stratila especially are those very distinctive, normally distilleries which have a style which is known for ages by the connoisseurs. It has changed, okay, we'll see that. But there's some strong personality there, even in a knowledge statement, even with sanitizing, etc. And I have to say, I love this expression almost as much as the 10, with the good batches of the 10 and the good batches of this one. And it's a really pleasant casual drink for me. So I don't give the Talisker core range much hate, as it's trying to say we hate this brand, as some hate Bowmore, hate Talisker. I'm not among those. I can recognize the flaws or problems, but I do not agree with a lot of people say, because I tried a lot and because also it's my right and my taste, right? You cannot say anything against that. I think it's personal. So then I will explain you what I feel, what I sense in these bottles, and then you make your opinion. And if you got to try it, of course it will be even better. But now let me tell you something, we're going to get into it, but indie Taliskers are getting rarer and are getting more expensive as well as indie Bowmore. So, and it's only, we'll get that into when we'll try the Adelphi. There are pro and cons. There are really great values and interests for official bottlings. There are a bit more genuinity in indie bottlings, but what you lose you win some, you lose some. What you lose some is some of the complexity and the character of the distillery, but you win more natural presentation and straight to the point. But it's often a narrow way because it's a single cask and not a big batch or a small batch. But I'm sure some of you know about that. Let's go. So these are the contemporary Taliskers, I have to say, official ones, at least reduced to 45.8, are more gentle. Let's say it clearly than 10 years before or 20 years before. I had the chance to try almost 30, 28, I think, Talisker so far. It's not much compared to hundreds or more of Springbanks and 80, I don't know, Bowmore and Brooklady, but still you can have your say. So what strikes me on all Taliskers are how maritime, but very gently maritime they are. I mean, there's no excess of iodine or seaweed for me in there, but a lot of sea spray. A lot of sea spray. And I forgot to pull off my sheets, tasting sheets. So let's say I'm going to do it completely out of, I'm not going to give scores probably there. Yeah, it's a bit new. Completely forgot and lost an hour to fix the sound thing. So forgive me if I'm less tight than usual for all that's paper sheet and stuff. But there's already lots of infos there. If I forget to mention for each expression the batch number, etc., Don't worry, it's in the description. It will be in the description when I know it. 90% of what I will review, I have the batch number. Okay. It's a bit cold here, so I usually don't warm the whiskies. I don't like that, but it's a bit cold. So it doesn't express all it should. But yeah, still you have this peppercorn, you have this black pepper, but moderate. Kind of vanilla and caramel combo, but it's subdued. Some nice flowers. Bit potpourri bouquet as well. Some salt. Even maybe almond paste, but very sweet. Okay, let's see how this maritime thing translates to the palate. At this stage, forgot to say the peat is moderate, coming across as a very moderate. Saint-Evin. Yummy. Oh, I really love the mix of slightly heady flowers, slightly star anise, not really, but something very special about Talisker. There's a mix about black pepper, light smoke, a bit of all the sea spray, and a bit of maybe almondy, appley, taste something baked apples, and some citrus as well, different fruits. Something herbal, but it's very discreet and balanced. You can find more herbal profile in indie bottlings, like we're gonna see. Thing I'm sorry I often forget to mention is the finish, the length and the particularity. But yeah, it's for 45.8 and for something that's chill filtered, etc. It's not bad at all. It's really nice. I think I did rate it around 88 or I don't remember now, 86, 88. So the harmony of the flavors here, I mean, you can sense the differences between the different aromas, but overall, it's a very complex and I would say quite complex, okay, and very harmonious, melted together flavor profile. There's nothing off-putting. There's nothing going out of the road. This is the strength of Talisker in official bottlings. When the batches are good, okay, this is very harmonious and going forward to bring you really nice sensations and long finish and the aftertaste, which is a bit floral, maritime, gently smoky. So in some ways, I know there's a dark storm for expression for travel retail. Never tried it, but in some ways, the storm doesn't really hold its name aggressivity-wise, to be honest. But yeah, the label says intense. It's not that intense. I've known a lot of old Talisker, even young, but old batches that were way stronger, especially the 10. Profoundly maritime character, I agree, but not sour and I mean a bit almost vinegary with a lot of iodine, disturbing some long rows, for instance. We'll get to the long rows also in review, and depend which long rows. But some batches of the 18 were very difficult, while others are fantastic, but very low, very not maritime almost. Warm welcome, yes, I agree. Let's put some water in that, and I will compare. Maybe no. Okay, just for the sake of the comparison, I will try the next Storm, which is from 2022. So a bit more seaweed there. Forgot to speak a bit of wax in the first one, less in this one. Very nice, but a bit more engineered, more oak, slightly more oaky. I didn't plan to do this like that, but the Skye now, oof, oakier. A bit oakier and spicier. It's a quick run, and we'll get back. I'm not trying the old Talisker now because ridiculous. Ooh, the 10 from 2012. Ooh, very nice. More depth, more maturity, bit more complexity, more elegance for sure. This is another league already. Right, let's dilute the Storm a bit and see if things are changing. I really hope the camera still works, sound-wise. Of course I should wait more, I know that. You don't want a 4 hours video that I cannot even make, technically. This kind of almondy dried fruits coming in now. I get also some leather, which I forgot. I get leather and Lagavulin, especially when you get to 12, 16 and older. But I forgot there were some in Talisker as well. So some nice old armchair leather. Oh, I'm not sure it's only aniseed. Something a bit waxy. Hazelnut, not sure. There's something on the herbal side. It is not that far from Springburn 10 at some extent, at a certain extent. Very interesting. So this was the first Storm. Let's go to the second from 2022. That's it. Yeah, that's it. It's hard to keep track with all these expressions they have. Oh, I forgot to say, I'm sorry. The first one is American and European oak, so the guess is bourbon and a bit of sherry. I'm not 100% sure about that. The Skye, it's a bit different recipe, we'll get it to it. So the Storm neat. So yeah, there's something a bit more industrial, maybe more leathery, but a bit more smoky as well. A bit more ashy smoke on the nose than the grassy peat smoke I had on the older batch. Okay. On the palate. Ooh. Well, you win some. Forgot to speak about barley sugar. The note I really love, it's a mix of barley sugar, very, very tiny star anise, and almond paste. A little unsugared almond paste. So it's still the combination of these notes, which makes a bit Talisker special. With on the background, black pepper, freshly crushed black pepper, but it's way less important than a decade ago, say. Okay, I'm gonna dilute it. Not sure I already did it yet. We'll see what's going on, and then we move to the Skye, because I really want to take time and not be cut when I will try the 10s. Oh yeah. The smoke is developing with water, obviously, and wrapping everything up. Forgot to say Talisker is often mouth coating, gently mouth coating, and one of its strengths, even at nose statement, did I say they were around 6 to 8 years old? I'm not sure. It's what I understand. It's not solid information. It's a guess, because the 57th degree north is from 6 to 8 years old, and profile is kind of similar. So yeah, beautiful stuff. The score won't be, I would say, that different from the old Storm and the new, so to speak, Storm, because I haven't tried 2026 Storm. But really, really pleasant. I really recommend for people who have a low budget. I would say if you want to try Talisker first time and you don't want to put money, I think it was around 50, and it's more for the Talisker 10. Go for the Storm in priority. Because if you want a 12 years old Talisker Indie, or sometimes even 10, in France at least, I know it's less expensive, Germany, Netherlands, etc. But in France, you gotta pay 110, 120, 40 even for a Talisker 12 reduced expression in indie bottling territory. And some are great, but many are good to average or a bit different. So it's not always a great value at indies, I mean Talisker. Next episode, I will, of course, tell you about my favorite Taliskers of all time, and you're gonna get some indie references there. Okay, so we're into the Skye from a bottling from 2016, supposed 2016. For the two old Skye and Storm, I have some doubts. Again, the batch number is on the description. I'm not going to read it there. It's a lot of numbers. For this Skye, it's American oak. Doesn't say if there's some European oak. Recharred and toasted with a high proportions of toasted casks. It's what they say, the info I can find. So this explains a bit of more wood smoke, wood spice, which is the main difference, I would say, with the Storm. Yeah, so you can feel the oakiness, bit of oakiness, but it's not overwhelming at all. Maybe a bit diminishing the charm of the Storm to be, and of the 10, of course. So it's an intermediate that's probably been done to please to people who like more rum or stuff. I don't know. A compelling Talisker, all smoky sweetness, blah blah blah, with spicy edge. That's what I was looking for. Rich in contrast, like the rugged beauty of the Isle of Skye. Never been there, but I've seen movies and videos using the landscape, and it's amazing. It's like another planet. Okay, so let's say take 60% of the 70% of the Storm, but add more oak and more spice, and you get this one. On the nose, on the palate. The oakiness is strong with this one. uh, Forget it. But it's not that aggressive. Of course, I have to mention, forgot to mention, I'm sorry. When I opened the Skye, this bottle, let's say the first third was very more difficult to drink than this one, and then the Storm. Even in the old Skye, it was a bit more aggressive. It was coming across as a bit bitter. Oak was not very pleasant, so I struggle with it until I get to the past the third, the shoulder and the third of it. Now, of course, it's more gentle, but okay, TALISKER Skye 2016, right, with a bit of water. And then we get to the more recent Skye. Ooh. I'm torn because the fact that there's a lot of toasted oak, etc., and the recharring brings this more to well, it's, because of the smoke and the maritime side is very different from a bourbon, right? But it brings a bit this whiskey to the bourbon, so to speak, territory, with more oak, more leather. I'm not sure. It's more oak and more spice, but it's not aggressive, at least now. So take this with a pinch of salt. That it's a nice one. Just a bit more drops, and we'll move to the big stuff. Oh no, not yet. The new one. Yeah, so you lose some of the floral and the citrus fruit charm to get more into the oak. The malted barley, okay, a bit more toast. Anyway, so you get a picture. Let's see if in the modern Skye things are changing or not. Whoops. So you see the cut diagonal label. Not crazy about this again, and it is sorry, color wise it's a bit darker. I think there's either more char or more E150A or both. Yeah, I guess the E150A caramel coloring. But of course they're pushing with the toasting, the charring, they're pushing the caramel, natural caramel also, and a bit nutty side. But that's not really something I'm crazy about. So the nose, it's less interesting than the old one, but of course the bottle has more amount than the old one, so take this with a pinch of salt. It's just that I see nutty side, more macadamia and pecan nut, by the way, than hazelnut, that I didn't get in the old one. Okay, so average nose, not super enthusiastic about it. Let's see on the palate. Yeah. This one has a slight bitterness in it on the back end, but with a relatively long finish. Not much on the charming side, but not completely either on the dark side. I see Star Wars is, I don't know why, maybe because of the mountains and the... Okay, forget about it. Let's see. I'm sure the water might enhance the oak to be... I'm always honest, but it's an expression every says to be honest. Oh, okay. How nutty this is, man. Spicy nuts. if that does exist. I mean, you bake the nuts with a. Reminds me of something. Those pralines. This probably does exist abroad, but they are a bit roasted and. With a sugar layer on it. Okay, it stabilizes a bit. It's a nice one, but it's a one I use maybe sometimes for home blends rather than for pure enjoying of it by itself. So it's okay if you don't have the Storm at disposal, but I consider the Storm as way more interesting. Now let's get back to a bit of history of whiskey with this Italian imported. What does it say? Imposta. Yeah, you don't have the whole stamp on it now. Probably Fabbricato di Acquavite, something like that. It's amazing because it says 75 CL, but it's a 70 CL. But it's a. So you have the old Talisker 10, which is called the map label version. So this one is one of the very first. I have the batch code, but I couldn't really find out the exact year of bottling. But it's supposed between 1988, where the first 10 years old was launched, so right before this Diageo, and late 1998, 89. When the classic malts were the first expressions of the classic malts were launched, because we see pictures in advertising, and I have some with this map label, Talisker 10, and very early 90s maybe. Anyways, this one I tried at a friend, and I thought I tried it blind long time ago. It's a bottle I got in 2020. And tasted blind, I thought, really, sincerely, I thought it was Lagavulin 20 years old or something like that, or Buna 20 plus. I couldn't, I never, ever thought it was Talisker 10. So American oak there only, but 45.8 again, but crazy stuff. So while the regular 10 was sold around, we see that after around 50, 35 now, probably 55 or more. This one was around 100 plus in auction because it's quite a special one. Color-wise, it's slightly darker, but not that much than the Storm, but less than the Skye, yes, a bit less than the Skye. Bearing in mind that the bottlings from 90, 60, 70, 80s, even a bit 90s, up to mid 2000, the demand was a bit less than the supply, especially for single malts, the demand was less. So the distilleries, the big names especially, did authorize themselves to add older content in it. So while I don't have the information, of course, my guess is in that 10 years old bottling there is also older content. I cannot be sure about that, so it's just, again, pinch of salt. It's just my opinion. Let's get to the nose, even if, of course, this is getting, I don't have a replacement for this one, unfortunately. This is getting a bit low, so less concentrated. I pump the air on a regular basis, but we'll see. A ridiculously complex and subtle nose. Sorry, coming across as way older than it is, with some old leather, library, etc. notes. some green notes as well, vegetal. It has more in I mean singularity than it has now. Way less sanitized. It's gentle smoke, but it's almost gone in this bottle. It's actually quite herbal and botanical. Some maybe gentian, some verbena, but very subdued. Aside from very, very washed out, I don't know how to say it, grapefruit and lemon. I mean, not very strong notes of these. Yeah, I know there's some OBA in there compared to when I did open it. So let's get to the palate. Hoping it is still intact. Angela. Wow. Oh, that magic stuff. Yeah, there's definitely some OBA there. It is a bit herbal. The smoke is almost gone. Tasted blind, I will never say it's a Talisker. It comes across, not when I opened it, but already when I opened it, of less peated than a few years later, 10 years old, surprisingly. It's herbal, it's vegetal, there's a greeniness that doesn't exist anymore in Talisker official young. In the 30, you can taste that. I will get back to it in the next video. The Talisker 30, I'm not sure even connoisseurs could recognize it's a Talisker. At least the 2 batches I tried, but yeah, another sip and we'll order and we'll get back to the new one. Yeah, there's so much thing going on that it's melted by time. OBA on board. But what I remember of it, which I rated over 90 out of 100. Yeah, you still got it. Just the glass needs some time, because I believe there's probably some 18 years old in there, if not more. Just a tiny part. This is a very precious, very old school, old fashioned Suranné, I would say in French, which I cannot translate. Really. I have no idea how I can translate that. I won't even search. I mean, old school and a bit old fashioned. Yeah, so this is beautiful. Did I try it with water? I don't even remember. Losing track of things over time. Oh man, don't get old. Oh, this is very poetic, in fact. Ooh. Again, some botanical elements, more harmonious, way more than in previous whiskies. This has some depth and very subtle. Again, the potpourri flowers come back there. Hint of leather, hint of dried fruits, but very subdued. I get some, underwood notes, some leafy notes, but very subtle. Some, I forgot black tea, of course. Beautiful stuff. If you come across this in a show, in the collector's corner, have a try. You might be surprised. Moving on to a more recent one, and I will tell you a bit about a 2025 Talisker that I did try, but this is not a 2025. This is a 2012. I'm sorry, not sorry, because I have another one with the beautiful sail style. I love this one, which is, you see, it's the same era. So I didn't felt like reviewing it, and also almost similar to this, really, really close. So this is coming across way more modern. On the nose, it's a mix of the sky and the storm, so to speak. Means we have the charm, the floral and maritime charm of the storm, with the sea spray, with a bit of a tiny seaweed, etc., and the salt and the caramel. But we also have the oakiness of the sky, the toasted barrels. But the smoke is deeper in the spirit, and you can feel it. It has, I mean, it's no longer a youngster. It's a 10. It might have some older stuff, but I doubt of it, considering at that time it was still a very sought after expression, supermarket everywhere. So yeah, this one also has, even it's only says American oak. I'm sorry, but they should say there is some toasted barrel in there, toasted oak, and some charring involved. So I get a bit of wood smoke on top of the peat smoke, rather dry peat smoke, by the way. With some floral elements, but the bits kept at bay while they were shining more in the storm. Ooh. Some herbal and botanical elements, but a bit subdued. I mean, the 10 was fantastic in the mid 2000s, I have to say. There were some lower quality batches, but there were some crazy good, better than this one. I think 2007 was probably my favorite year for Talisker. Among from the 10 to the 18 that you have behind me, but my bottle, it's my last bottle of Talisker 18, and it's from 2011, not 7. Yeah, this one asks for time. I forgot to say, despite the chill filtering, all those Taliskers have a quite persistent legs and tears, so viscosity is quite high. So it's good. Means they didn't got rid of all the congeners through the filtration. Yeah, so this is gentle, bit sanitized, modernized Talisker, but it's still Talisker. And a tip for you guys out there who might be interested by food pairings. This goes very well, even the Storm, with smoked salmon. You can, I have, I love to change the function of things and recycle, etc. I have a little spray bomb. I don't have it there, but it's in the kitchen. That normally should have been used with gin. It was provided with a bottle of gin, Tanqueray, to spray on the top of the cocktails, etc. But as I saw some recipes using some smoky whiskies, I said, okay, I'm going to change this. I did put some Talisker in that spray little bomb, and I use it to spray on smoked salmons, sometimes when I get some, or on croque monsieur, if you know this French traditional brasserie bar. I mean, restaurant open all day is called brasserie here, like brewery. It's the same name. You see, when you go out of you come to Paris, you're a tourist, and let's say you're out of the Gare de Lyon, of a big railway station, and you see a place where you can have a coffee or eat all day. This is a brasserie. And there you will be able to try the ham and cheese with toasted bread called croque monsieur, and if there's an egg on it, it's croque madame. And if you spray some Talisker on it, you're gonna have a blast. It's another tip of mine. The other thing that gets very well with it, it's if you just eat some Comté cheese, pressed paste cheese, Comté, like Comté, Emmental, and other things like that. It goes very well with it. Okay, on the nose, I lost track. So yeah, more gently, kind of aniseed, no, star anise, very little, but almond paste, baked apples, and caramel. Bit, not burnt caramel, but on the verge to be burnt. Okay. Lots of depth. The charming smoky thing with the oak. Yes, there's more oak than before, but it's still tamed. It's lovely. Comes across a bit sanitized. There were some 10 that has some more black pepper. There's only tiny in it. Not that I'm a fan of black pepper, but there's something chili in some Talisker's chili pepper, as in some old Stratailers, that's very giving a strong structure to the whiskey on top of the oak. With a few drops. Yeah, it loses some of the old bottle and even the Storm charm, clearly. It's a modern Talisker. There's still got a bit of the floral side, very subdued, too much in my opinion. Not enough star anise, almost none. So there's got to be more. But there's still this charming, very hard to define for me, mix of the star anise, the almond paste, the barley sugar combo, which makes it unique to Talisker. Slightly leathery, not that much. But before we go to the indie bottling, yeah, let's put that here and imagine it's the dented label like you have for the Skye and Storm. I tried at a friend last year 2 times, and of another bottling as well, Talisker 10 from 2025. Problem is it was going in that direction, but even more. So second time it was less dramatic on the bad side, but it tends to be more sanitized over time, more almost burnt caramel, and less flowers, less fruitiness. It's all about caramel, wood spice, wood smoke. The 2 batches I tried one were more aggressive, one were sweeter, but it was less good than this, which is already less good than the 2007 I had, and the 1990s that I showed you. And less good, I have to say, I'm sorry, than the Storm that I had before. And probably than this. Let me, by the way, retry the Storm, even if it's diluted, head to head. Okay. Comes across as younger, but way more charm for me than this. Or if you want to have this sensation of something that has more caramel, etc., take the Storm and put just a few drops of this. You probably get a an interesting blend. You know me. Okay, we got this. Now we need to try this. What is this? This is an independent bottling on the island range called Fascadale of Adelphi. And Adelphi did in the past, and this bottling dates from didn't wrote it. Sorry, 2009. Almost not 100% sure, but what I'm sure of, because I spoke with its distributor in France, which used to be, weirdly, the indie bottler and master blender Guillaume Grosperrin, which works in the bottler of cognac, very famous for high-end, unadulterated cognacs. Never spoke really about them. Maybe in one video about cognac should review. I have two, and I blended one. Spectacular stuff in the past, but at the time until 2011 was the last year. Oh my God. They were distributing Adelphi whiskies, and my word, as Gert would say, there were some crazy good ones, such as my Bunhaven 1968, I still have, and haven't reviewed on video, but it's on the website. They had some crazy Kleinliches, etc. Couldn't buy everything, unfortunately. Last time we went there for cognac visit, 2014, they had a tremendous Caperdonic 1972, but we had to refill our Buna 68, 41 years old, because it was too good. So we split with a friend a new bottle of it. That's why I still have some. Not for everyone, but because not replaceable. I mean, it was 200 and euros. There was now 2,000, 4,000. I don't know. Anyway, this Fascadale. Sorry, at the time that Guillaume was also in collaboration with a famous restaurant that alas has to close after COVID, La Zigothèque in Paris, which has over 300 whiskey and other spirits on the menu, and did special menus. Even one of my whiskeys was on the menu, but it's another story. Creations, I mean, blends. They did several releases of the Fascadale. This is the limited release one. Batch release one, almost 3,797 bottles. And I have two of them, which are all labeled as 10 years old, but they have older content. This one is the, I was told, so it's not written. So it's undisclosed Talisker, and the other one is an undisclosed Highland Park, and I have to review it as well. The two are opened. This one is officially 10 years old, but it bears 5 casks of 10 years old and 5 casks of 15 years old. So it's a small batch. Vintage is 1993-1998. 46% ABV, non-chill-filtered, non-colored. And this explains, and it's another glass, by the way, my glasses there are from, it's a partnership with Ravinet d'Arc, French distributor of Spiegelau glasses. This is the Authentic 30, which is my favorite tasting glass in almost all my videos. And this is the Vino Grande glass, because I don't have more than 6 of the Authentic, but it's quite close, and it's a beautiful as well. So very pale Chardonnay white wine color. As you can see, it doesn't mean it's flavorless. Let's take a bit of water. Actually, it's a very subtle one I really like. It's probably lost a bit of his luster now. Was more concentrated in the opening and corking. So it's a very naked, I would say, naked one part, as often indie are. I mean, aside from, like I said in my latest, check it out on our website, editorial and article, some indies are absolutely great, exceptional casks selected there. Others are average and others are not interesting. It's often the one that distilleries say, I don't know what to make of this cask. It's not a house style cask. It's not very great, but I'm going to sell it, but impose the fact it will be undisclosed. So people don't say, oh, that's Talisker. Talisker is bad. But this is not the case here. This is more the case of an okay selection of casks that's quite fragrant, but not probably what they were looking for the core range. And also, I mean, when a house has some reputation, blending house or indie bottling house, they can get more interesting casks than smaller or less famous indie bottlers. You have to know that because it's important when you get to try them, and also when some of these indie bottlers get to tend, not all of course, there are beautiful ones, but they tend to hide the weak cask they got with wine cask, or it's also wine, but it's fortified sherry cask or whatever. So be careful, and if you want to make sure you get the distillery house style, you better go to indie bottlers who will give you a refill sherry or refill bourbon or refill that, and part of first fill if it's a small batch, rather than go for a heavily winey or sherry cask. Just my opinion. So beautiful herbal floral combo in there, a very light smoke, which is a bit surprising. Not much more because it's less concentrated than in the beginning again. A lovely floral bit green combo. Let's get to the palate, Sanjeev. Wow, beautiful. You see, sometimes the nose is subdued compared to the palate. Well, the old stuff, and the more you get to the old whiskies, old school OBA, etc., gets in, and sometimes the nose is often, or sometimes, I don't know, depends. The nose tend to be better. The older the whiskey gets, by the way, in my experience, the nose tends to be better than the palate. Palate can be a letdown. Here it's the contrary. The nose is very discreet, but the palate is great. I mean, this you have this, what I said, combo of slightly tiny star anise with nice flowers, wild flowers, plus, so going a bit to the herbal territory, plus a bit of maritime elements, but very discreet. No aggressive seaweed or iodine stuff. It's very discreet. You can still get the Talisker style. It's a bit unusual. Of course, if you're used to heavily toasting, etc., charring, you won't recognize Talisker, but it's a nice indie bottling. And the fact they did add older casks, for me, get this very well. Price-wise, it was around, 48 euros in 2009. It's okay. Sorry if not cheap. Like I said, nowadays, indie Taliskers of 10 years old and more are rather 100 or more in France. Ooh, nice. You know, there's some, I forgot, completely forgot. I'm sorry, I apologize, but it's not obvious until you get to indies. Mineral. Talisker has a mineral side, as some indie lechegs that official doesn't seem to have, unfortunately. So there's a mineral side that also Kulila has, Port Ellen has. What else? Not Lagavulin. but more not really. Sometimes in the bourbon bottlings, yes. Um Peat whiskies wise, I mean, but Talisker, yes, has that mineral things. This one gets into, without the sugar, of course, into a bit in the Chablis territory, or Pinot Gris, for those who like wine. Not Frank, I know. I have no idea if you watch my videos, so I have to stick some pithead name dropping in it. Let me know. I would like to know. Ah, this is beautiful. This is, I'm not sure rated it 89 or 90, but something like that. This is a typical unadulterated, naked, mineral, maritime, quiet side Talisker. I love it. That's it. I really hope the mic did work. I'm sorry, I almost wasn't going to use it, but the old mic didn't work today. And I don't like the stereo echoing sound that comes from this, the new one. First time I'm using it, but I didn't have no way doing differently. So I really hope it was good. Let me know, please, your experience with Talisker, and stick around, as some say, or stay tuned for next episode with some big guns, including a whiskey, an indie bottling of 18 years old of Talisker that I have never tried myself, that I kept for a special occasion, and that I'm gonna discover with you. Yes, and it's a rare one and very special one in the time we're in. Thank you for watching. Like, subscribe, blah blah blah. You know the jazz, that thing, and see you soon.